Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel, where of course we're giving you all the latest news, views and opinions on all things Albion. We are back again today with another video for you. West Bromwich Albion have completed the signing of Australian international Tom Rogic on a one-year deal. We'll be chatting about that transfer. We'll be talking about what he can bring to Albion and also, of course, the details of the deal, my opinion as well. But yeah, we'll be talking about Tom Rogic in today's video, Albion's latest signing. But we'd love to hear your thoughts, of course, on the new recruit. Make sure you comment your opinions and thoughts down below. I'd love to hear them. Make sure you subscribe if you're new around here for more Albion-related content coming your way. Today was supposed to be a bit of a match preview ahead of Birmingham. Of course, that's confirmed to be going ahead. But, yeah, of course, this signing has put a little bit of a roadblock in that, so that'll be here tomorrow. So, yeah, Tom Rogic, of course, has signed for West Bromwich Albion on a one-year deal. Let's chat about that signing in this video.
You're watching the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. For match previews, match day vlogs, match reactions, and more, make sure to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel.
So let's begin by talking about the details of the deal. Of course, Albion put out that statement. We kind of knew it was a little bit close. We knew that he was doing a little bit of training with Albion over the past sort of week or so. So yeah, we kind of got a bit of a gist that Tom Rogic could be signing over the next few weeks or so. Obviously tends to be the case that they come on trial. They do a bit of training with us. We know that Eric Peters is currently training with Albion at the moment. We know that Martin Kelly, of course, might have done a little bit of training too. But yeah, Albion have signed Australian midfielder Tom Rogic on a one-year deal with a further year's option in the club's favour, subject to international clearance. The 29-year-old, who's earned 53 caps for his country, arrives at the Hawthorns after leaving Scottish side Celtic at the end of the 21-22 campaign. Rogic, who represented his nation at the 2018 World Cup, has won 16 major honours during his 9 years in Glasgow. Yeah, I mean, it's mad. It's mad that we've managed to pick up such an experienced player on a free transfer. I mean, he's clearly got a lot of ability, clearly been a staple part of Celtic's title charges over the past 9 years. And yeah, Celtic's sort of dominance as well, I suppose we can say, over Scottish football. But yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how he gets on at Albion. Of course, having not had that pre-season like a couple of other players, I'm quite curious to see how he slots in among the first 11, whether he comes straight into the squad for Birmingham. I think it's probably a little bit of stretch. Of course, he's got to have that international clearance, but I'd imagine that that Rogic will get that international clearance, having played in Britain earlier this year, and of course earning so many caps for his country. Steve Bruce has said Tom is a quality player who's played nearly 300 games for Celtic, including a significant number of games just last season. He's proven to be a quality player, a serial winner and a top professional. He can play in several positions across the midfield, and I'm confident that he will prove to be a great acquisition to the club. I'm delighted to have him with us. The signing himself has said, I've heard about the club's interest in me about a week ago. I spoke with the manager, who seems like a really good guy. I spoke with my agent, and here we are. I was looking for a change of scenery and fresh challenge. I didn't want to just rush into anything. I think it was important for me to take my time and make sure that my next club was the right club and had some time to reflect. Now I feel refreshed, re-energised and excited about the future. I'm looking forward to getting started at Albion. I think it's fair to say the team hasn't got the results the performances have warranted so far this season. I know that the manager and the boys are looking to change that as quickly as possible. So yeah, seems like a really exciting signing. Of course, Celtic fans, big fans of really Rogic. I think since his time at Celtic Park, I think it's evident to see that they're quite big fans of him, and kind of some of them were quite keen to see him stay. If I have to be honest, from seeing a lot on Twitter, seeing a lot on social media about him. But yeah, let's get to know him a little bit more. He was born in Canberra, Australia's capital city. Of course, 29 years old. Of course, he's a Serbian descent as well. His career has gone a little bit like this. He's started off at Central Coast Mariners in 2012, went to Celtic in 2013, been on loan to Melbourne Victory the following season, but then obviously from 2014 to 2022 has made bags of appearances at Celtic Park. And I mean, he's had some very impressive seasons with them, most notably looking back at sort of his stats and his numbers for goals and assists. I know he's a midfielder, but last season got 6 goals, 6 assists. I think that's still pretty decent. It just depends whether he's been a staple part of the squad. I mean, 22 games in 2016-17, scored 7 goals and got 3 assists in 22 games. 30 games the season before, but got 8 goals, 5 assists. So, I mean, he's clearly prolific from that midfield area. He's clearly been a big part of what Celtic have built over the past sort of 10 years, or almost 10 years, really. So to know a bit more about him, he can kind of play in the number 10 role, kind of play as an 8. He's going to wear the number 7 shirt, I mean, coincidentally. I think number 10 sort of is where he's kind of suited to, but also can play as a number 8. I think will be good at progressing the ball forwards. I mean, if we have to look at sort of his numbers in a minute, then we'll kind of discuss that and discuss what he can bring from that sort of angle. But, primarily, moving into that 8/10 role, I think he's more technically good on the ball. Not really a ball winner, but definitely a ball player. And I think that's going to be really important to Bruce's side. I think, bringing in an experienced player, somebody who's played a lot of games in Scottish football, which I'd consider to be, playing for Celtic is quite a similar standard to kind of, I suppose, top flight European football. I think that's probably fair to say. And I think Albion, it's going to be stepping into the Championship, the second tier of English football. I think he'll be suited to it quite well. The physicality of Scottish football is quite high. I remember watching the Celtic game a couple of weeks ago, and quite a lot of physicality involved. And I think the Championship will be well suited to his ability to deal with that. And I think you only have to look at the club's Twitter feed and kind of looking down the club's Twitter feed and kind of seeing how we've taken the signing and how a lot of Celtic fans have taken the signing to know that it's a decent coup for Albion, and moving into the midfield, I think he's going to be a big asset for us. So I think no pre-season for him is probably going to mean that we're going to have to wait a little longer to see him, but I think that's always the case with free agents, especially towards the start of this season. We've had obviously Martin Kelly coming in to cover injury, but Celtic players saying that he's such a gifted footballer. So, I think Rogic is more of a deeper player than perhaps John Swift. But, I think he's pretty... I'm not really sure the circumstances in which he left Celtic. I'm sure there'll be Celtic fans on this video looking to kind of chip in and help out with Albion fans sort of knowing a little bit more about the new signing. But I believe that, a lot of them feel he's taken a bit of a step down, which is fair. I mean, fair enough. But I think, he's going to be a big player. I think he's going to be a very, very good, very good player, and I think he's definitely going to be able to sort of Rolls Royce. I think I've seen a lot of Celtic fans sort of touting him as over social media and stuff, and I think he'll be a massive signing for Albion this season. I think moving forwards, I think he's got a lot to look forward to. You kind of a 1-year deal. I think Martin Kelly obviously is on 2 from deadline day, the signing that we made. But then kind of, he's a 1-year deal. I think that's a bit strange, but, maybe an extra year in the club's favour might be good. I think very much looking to test the water with him and seeing how he gets on. But, I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see how he gets on. But he's clearly a very technically gifted footballer, highly rated by Celtic fans. Let's have a look at his numbers. We'll go specifically into last season for how we've kind of looked at him and see what he can kind of do, really. I mean... definitely a very tidy player, sort of moving into that right-hand channel a little bit by the looks of things from his heat map. Attacking-wise, of course, getting those goals and assists, 6 goals, 6 assists, and a 0.3 goals and assists per 90, which I think is quite good. 2.62 shots on target per 90 as well, 7.36 successful dribbles. Defensively, not too many, but not really losing the ball, very tidy in possession. We're keeping it in the lowest 25% of the division for losing the ball in possession. So I think that's quite interesting to see how he's kind of keeping the ball a bit better than a lot of players in the division. And I mean, Scottish Premiership, of course, obviously there's such a massive gap between Celtic and Rangers, and some might say there's a bit of a gap between Celtic and Rangers this season, but I think Rogic looks to be a really smart acquisition, and I think he's one of the free agents that I would have personally looked at, especially after the deadline day debacle, which we know it angered so many Albion fans, including myself. 2 quality midfielders could have come in with Josh Onomar and Stephen Alzate, but Tom Rogic, I think, is a kind of step towards rebuilding that. I'm glad we've managed to complete the paperwork for this. I mean, it's starters, but he's clearly a serial winner, as Bruce described him as. He's won 16 major honours whilst in Celtic, and I think that's really good to see that somebody who's got a bit of winning experience, maybe a bit of a good character as well. But the signs of things, he's quite quiet, but yeah, quite understated. But of course, the technical ability a lot of the times with midfielders who are very good on the ball can be kind of quiet, and keeping that quiet nature about them. And I think that's what I'm looking forward to seeing with Rogic, and what he can kind of bring to Albion is a bit of technical ability in the midfield, linking up the attack and sort of passing the ball to Swift. I can see him doing, taking it off Kuzlu and being that little bit of a bridge, because I think we're kind of lacking that at the moment. I know that we're not really scoring, the goals we want to be scoring with the chances, but I think kind of having a bit of a link in midfield could free up a bit more attacking options. So yeah, I mean, Rogic looks like a great signing to me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you're a Celtic fan who stumbled across this video, also feel free to let me know what you think. I know I've seen a few saying he's taken a step down, but I'd be interested to see your thoughts on how you think he might fare in the Championship. Comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Match preview will be tomorrow. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.